I, Fatuma Mohammed Achani, do solemnly swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee in respect of the matters before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Mr. Chairman, I hereby table the following documents before the committee. Management responses and accompanying annexures. 1. The Msambweni County Referral Hospital for financial year 2021-2022 and 2022-2023. Okay, second, the Kwale County Sub-County Hospital for the financial years 2021-2022. The Kinango Sub-County Hospital for the financial years 2021-2022. And Lungalunga Sub-County Hospital for the financial years 2021-2022.
Honorable members, we proceed to consider the audited report for the 4 hospitals. That is Msambweni County Referral Hospital, Lungalunga Sub-County Hospital, Kwale Sub-County Hospital, and Kinango Sub-County Hospital for the financial years 2021-2022. Failure to deduct and remit statutory deduction. What is the position?
Thank you, Chair. The remission was confirmed later. This was done actually in the subsequent financial year, and you have confirmed that the remissions were done to the relevant agencies.
So that one you've confirmed. How did you confirm?
Thank you, Chair. During the audit process, it's non-submission of documents to support the deduction. In the confirmation, we have been given the statements to indicate that the payment has been done to the carer.
Our payroll is centrally processed, prepared and processed and paid centrally for all the employees of the county government. So the entities were not paying salaries at that point. We were paying it from the county treasury. So it's not that the hospitals were processing their salaries and paying, because our payroll is one under IPPD. So that's why the auditors maybe at that time could not access that central processing of payroll, of the deductions and submissions.
If I may make it clear, is that the deductions were done on time and remittance was also done on time. But by the time they were doing their audit at the hospitals, the records were at centrally at the county headquarters. That's why they did not get the documents. But after the audit report, we submitted, and he has confirmed that the documents are okay.
Yeah, that's in order, Chair. But remember, PFM Act states very clearly on the, within 3 months, submissions of all the documents should be done, the accounting, financials, and everything. So I think you put it correctly, fine. But I think the issue that is coming out is that particular delay.
Then weak internal controls on delivery of medical supplies. That one you have indicated not addressed. So I think we'll mark it. Is it query number? Okay, let me mark it as the clerk tells me that I think budgetary control is key because the budget did not balance. So we have to look at it as number 2. And then now this comes number 3. Appointment of board members and board composition. Auditor, what was the main issue here?
Thank you, Chair. There were 2 issues there: expiry of the board tenure and exclusion of board members who are supposed to be in the board. Thank you.
So I think the issue of board members is very critical, as we have seen with other establishments. So we consider this. So honorable members, clearly you can see there are quite a number of issues in this Msambweni. So auditor, they take us through the first query. That is the revenue from an exchange transaction.
Thank you, Chair. Report of the Auditor General on Msambweni County Referral Hospital for the year ended that is June 2022, County Government of Kwale. The opinion was qualified. Basis for qualification and disclosed balances. 1.1, revenue from non-exchange transactions. The statement of financial performance and note 7 to the financial statements reflect in-kind contribution from the county government of Kenya shilling 436,565,136. However, the amount excludes direct payments of salary to the hospital's universal health coverage UHC program healthcare workers by the national government amounting to Kenya shilling 18,120,000. In addition, the revenue excludes donation in kind from the Global Fund amounting to Kenya shillings 18,029,499 and Kenya shillings 75,500 doses of measles, rubella, BOG, and OPV vaccine of undetermined value.
Okay, management response. This was an error of omission which was corrected through journal that have no effect or the reserves since it's a contra entry. Credit grants and subsidies 18,120,000 and debit reserves of Kenya shillings 18,120,000. The debit grants and subsidies, credit reserves, the donations in kind from Global Fund amounting of Kenya shillings 18,029,499 and Kenya shillings 75,500 doses and measles, rubella, BCG and OPV vaccines was disclosed in the footnotes at the back page of the financial statements. There's an annexure 1, the journal entry.
Thank you, Chair. I wanted the auditors, if you could tell us who signed the financial statements.
Through the chair, the financials are signed by 3 people. The chairman of the board, head of finance, and the person in charge of the institution. For that year,
just hold on the part for the person in charge of the institution. He or she has a name. Provide it to the committee.
Thank you. In these financial statements, those names were not indicated.
And how did you know is in charge of the institution?
From the annual report, we were able to establish who was the person in charge of the hospital, but on the face of the financial, the name was not brought there. So it's only the signature which is there.
Signature and name or signature and title?
It should be signature and title. Name, signature, and title. Those 3.
Those 3.
Yeah. In the section of the annual report, we have the name. On the face of the financial statement, that name was not brought forward.
Okay, no problem. Okay. So who is the accounting officer here? I'm of course looking for the ISPAC number if you're following Mutinda.
Through the chair, on the face of the financial statement, we don't have the ISPAC number of the head of the finance.
Okay. But he signed, he or she signed, head of finance. So, through the chair to the governor, who is the head of finance?
Chief officer.
The accountant.
Where is he or she? Okay, but Sergeant Atam, please assist with Mike. Sergeant Atam, Mike, please. Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon.
Had you introduced yourself?
No, I'm just.
Kindly proceed, introduce yourself, feel comfortable.
Good afternoon to you.
Afternoon.
My name is Halima Ngome, accountant in Sambweni Hospital.
Halima, you are the head of finance, right, in the hospital?
Yes.
Are you a member of ISPAC, Halima?
No.
Is your team, you have a team like the accountants who are members of ISPAC? You can assist through the governor?
Thank you, Chair. For the hospitals, we only have one accountant because of the few number of staffs we have.
Yes.
So for now, we had only seconded an accountant to all the 4 hospitals. Well,
And that is Halima.
that is it.
Now, auditors, would you...
Halima is from Sambweni alone. Kwale has another accountant.
No, we are in Msambweni. Let's stick there. She's the one in charge of Msambweni, and she's not an ISPAC member. Auditors, you know very well financial statements need to be signed by a personnel who is a member of ISPAC, and that's what I'm following closely. So those financials do not have any number of any member of ISPAC. That's the point. Please put yourself on record.
Thank you. True.
That's the position. Should that be the case? Is that correct?
Thank you, Chair. That is not correct.
Chair, of course, now my question raises the many concerns that the first question just brings the issue of error of omission. Some of the issues that you touched on were bringing the issues of, the accounting standards not being adhered. And the position that we are in right now, Chair, through you realize that then the department or the institution, then somebody level 5, is not having anybody who is a member of ISPAC is required as per the accounting standards and PFM, which is a concern, Madam Governor. Why should we be having such a loophole?
Thank you, Chair. Initially, in our recruitment process, where accounts were audited and financial statements were prepared centrally, we recruited qualified accountants for every department. So health initially was being, all hospitals were being audited under the Department of Health, which had a principal accountant who is a certified member of ISPAC. And during this audit was carried after the Department of Health had already been audited. So the accountant at that time was reporting to the principal accountant for the Department of Health, who is a member of ISPAC.
Are you aware that the financial statements need also to be signed by someone who's also a member of ISPAC? When they sign, they put also their membership number. Are you aware?
Yes, Chair, I am aware.
And so are you agreeing that it was wrong to submit the financial statement that have not been appended a signature from a person under ISPAC?
Yeah, Chair, it is wrong, but maybe my mitigation to the committee is when we have a transition within a financial year, because the audit was carried within a financial year for the hospitals. So we were still transiting to having hospitals as entities when the audit was carried out. Because this was a special audit that was carried throughout the country of hospitals. But now that has been
The financial statement should be signed by a member of the ISPAC. If it is not in the hospital, then that member can come from the county. So long as he is satisfied that the records are correct, then he can sign. Otherwise, this is a major omission, because someone has to be accountable for that. So the issue here, Auditor, was a non-disclosure of 18 million, which was direct salaries to the UHS program. And then we had a donation from Global Fund of another 18 million. And then we had a non-disclosure of the value of the vaccines, about 75,500 vaccines. So I think you need to be very clear to us. Because the hospital is saying they have since disclosed. But we need to indicate which financial year, which financial statements are they referring to. Is it for the 2022, 2023 or 2023, 2024? In which statements have they made the change? And have you been able to audit it?
Thank you, Chair. Number one, the disclosure being mentioned by the management, we have not been able to confirm because it was not in the year we are auditing. Nevertheless, on the notes, because you have other disclosures in the financial statements, there were two elements there which were disclosed, but that was not fully disclosure as per the accounting standards.
So, Auditor, I think this matter here, it's important to get a full disclosure and correction in the subsequent financial statement. It can't be left hanging like this. The disclosures and the relevant correction of the journals must appear in the subsequent financial statements. So when you'll be auditing, have you audited 2023, 2024, 2022, 2023?
Thank you, Chair. 2022, 2023, we in the process of auditing, the certificates have not been issued. So any correction after the 2022 year will be reviewed now in the subsequent year or subsequent years.
So I think that's what we want you to do. Yes, Governor.
Chair, maybe I can take back the auditor. The same financial year, the disclosure was done the same financial year. In the footnotes, in the same financial year, there was disclosure.
The next issue is the issue of weak internal controls on delivery of medical supply. I want to say, honorable members, the weak internal controls also is reflected in the query on weak internal controls on revenue, the billing, weak internal controls on unapproved waivers of patient bills, and also it appears sale of medicines not accounted for. All that are queries on weak internal controls. So for the purposes of time, I think we'll deal with this first part, and then members will now give a recommendation on what needs to be done to deal with the weak internal controls.